Alright, hi everyone, I'm Junhao and I'm back with a new video. Okay, this video I will go through a Addmaths paper. Yeah, this is the Mathematic Tambahan Addmaths paper and it's the Negeri Sembilan paper 1. Okay, alright, so before I start, few things I want to say to you. So I will plan to do a few more Addmaths paper after this. I'm thinking like maybe the Kedah paper, yeah, or maybe the Pahang paper. Yeah, the Pahang paper also I will do. Yeah, but this video I'll do the Negeri Sembilan lah. And then the next video will be Negeri Sembilan paper 2. So if you all are interested, gain early access for my future videos, you all can join my channel membership. All the link is in the description. Okay. And also if you want more videos like this, remember to subscribe lah. Alright, so I think I'll start now. So these are formulas. I will skip. Okay, let's start with bahagian A. Okay, so jawab semua soalan number 1. Alright, this one is from 4 linear law. So from 4 chapter 6. Okay. Okay, the variable x and y are related by this equation such that P and Q are constants. Diagram 1 shows the straight line graph obtained by plotting the relation from the equation. So in the diagram, the y-axis, they put big Y, but in the x-axis, they put small x. All right. For linear law question, when they give you equation, you will always change it to linear form, y equals mx plus c. And you want to make sure your y-axis match with the y-axis in the graph. And also the x-axis match with the x-axis in the graph, right? But you can see that they never tell you what's the y-axis because they put a big Y here. If they put big Y means they don't want to tell you. They don't want you to know what's the y-axis. But we do know the x-axis must be x. So maybe we can try to make it so that the x-axis will be small x. And then A says given the gradient obtained from straight line graph is P. So that's the gradient. So the gradient must be P, express big Y in terms of small x and or small y. All right, so we have two information here. We want our gradient to be P and we want our x-axis to be small x. Okay. Yeah, the y-axis I don't know because they put a big Y there. So yeah, we don't know what's the y-axis. It could be y, it could be y over x, it could be y over x squared. Yeah, we don't know. But we know that the x-axis must be the small x because they put small x here. Yeah, so we can work towards that. Okay, we can work towards making the x-axis small x. And also make sure the gradient is p because that's what they want. So now I'll write down the equation. All right, I think the minus qx I have to move there lah. Confirm lah, right? Confirm I have to move there. So it becomes px squared plus qx, right? And if you want your gradient to be p, what you should basically do is you have to divide with x lah. Yeah, you should divide with x. Uh, because if you want to change to linear form, your x can only muncul satu kali here. Yeah, your x can only appear one time, right? So you can see now the x appear two times. Okay, so you have to either get rid of this x, you have to either get rid of this x or maybe get rid of this x square. Okay, but of course, if you want the gradient to be p, and if you want the x-axis to be x, you should get rid of this x. You should get rid of this x. That's why I say divide by x. So it's gonna be y over x. Everything divided by x. This will be px. This will be q. And as you can see, your gradient is p, and beside the gradient, that's the x-axis. So now it's already linear form. Y equals mx plus c. The y-axis is y over x. That means this one is small y over small x. And then the gradient is p, which is what they want. And then the x-axis is small x, and that already match. And then the c y-intercept, that's the q. It means this is the q lah. Okay, now imagine if I get rid of the x square. It means I divide everything by x square. Then it will be wrong already. Because if I divide everything by x square, my p will be my y-intercept already. P will be my y-intercept, and that will be wrong already because the p, they want the p to be gradient. Okay. Okay, it's not finished yet because they want to express the big Y in terms of small x and small y. So the big Y is actually the small y over small x. So that's the answer lah, right? They only ask you to express the big Y, right? So you just express the big Y. All right, that's all. Now let's do B. A point 2, 1 over 5 lies on the straight line graph. Express Q in terms of P. That means 2, 1 over 5 is a point that passes through the line. Okay, yeah, it's this point is on the line. Okay, somewhere on the line. So if it's somewhere on the line, that means we can substitute inside the equation. But when you substitute, be careful. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe pula. Okay lah, make sure you subscribe also. But for this question, make sure you substitute inside the big X and the big Y. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because the 2 is actually the X and then the 1 over 5 is the Y, right? But it's actually the Y over X. Or you can say the whole big Y. Okay. Yeah, whenever I teach this part, when we want to sub, I always say this. If you watch my previous video, you know about it. Yeah, I always say when you sub, make sure you sub into big X, big Y. Okay. So now I will do the B here. So let's write our equation first. But I will write it using the big Y and the big X because I want to sub this into the big X, big Y. Not the small x, small y. If you sub small x, small y, then wrongly. Okay, the gradient is P. So that's gonna be, oh, the gradient I don't have. Okay, but it's okay, right? Because they said it can express Q in terms of P. So we don't actually need to find the value of P and Q. So just write the P there. And then the plus Q also, we don't have, it's fine. Just do it like that. And then the big Y just sub with 1 over 5. And then equals to P, X is 2 plus Q. All right, they want Q in terms of P. That means the Q must be single. So Q must be single, means this 2P I move there. So it become 1 over 5 minus 2P. And that should be the answer. Yeah, that should be the answer, right? Okay, there's another way to write this. You can make it into single fraction, right? If you make it into single fraction, it will be 1 minus, okay, the 2p times 5 will become 10p over 5. All right, this is also another way to write it, okay? So you want to write like this can also, like this can also. They are the same thing. Okay, nak tulis macam ni pun boleh, macam ni pun boleh. Sama saja. Alright, so that's all for number 1. All right, now for number 2. So this is a function question, so it's from 4 chapter 1. Okay, let's see what the question says. Given the function fx is 2 minus x. All right, so let's write it like that. And then comma, gx is qx squared plus r. This is another information. So write it beside. And the composite function is f gx 3x squared minus 8. Oh, they give us composite. That's good. Let's write it. 3x squared minus 8. And then suddenly says find the value of q and r. Okay, I think the q and r is referring to this q and this r. It means you want to find the gx lah. Yeah, you're trying to find gx. Okay, they got give us fx, gx, and fgx, right? So how can I find the q and r? Okay, this is the plan. We have to find our own fgx. We have to find our own fgx. Okay, they got give us they got give us the FGX here, but this one is yang dia bagi punya. Saya tak mau yang dia bagi punya. Saya nak yang saya cari sendiri punya. I want to find my own FGX, and then I will take my own FGX compare with the FGX yang dia bagi. Okay, yeah. So I will cari my own FGX, my own. So I will not look at this. Yang ni jangan tengok dulu. Lepas saya cari yang saya sendiri punya, baru saya banding dengan ini. Baru saya compare dengan ini. Sekarang saya nak cari saya sendiri punya. Alright, so kita buat dalam dulu. So dalam bracket gx is qx squared plus r. Just write it like this. Okay, now dalam tak boleh buat. Bila dalam tak boleh buat, tengok luar. And then kalau luar ada, you ganti masuk dalam luar punya function lah. Tapi kalau luar tak ada, you buat let. Okay, tapi ini adalah f. So the outside function is f and you have the fx is 2 minus x. That means you have to ganti this whole thing inside the fx punya x, which is 2 minus x like that. And then the x just ganti with qx squared plus r. And make sure the bracket have to write lah. If you don't open the bracket, then wrong already. Yeah, especially when dia minus the other dua term macam ni, minus dua term, you must put the bracket. Yeah, because kalau dia minus dua term, dua term pun kena tukar tanda. So minus qx squared minus r like that. Okay, if you forget about the bracket, then you will think that this is plus r, then it's wrong already lah. All right, so that's the answer. Yeah, that's all. Nothing much you can do already. Q tak boleh buat dengan R, R tak boleh buat dengan number. Yeah, that's the answer, right? Okay, this is FGX yang saya buat sendiri punya. What about this? This is the one yang dia bagi. Tapi they are both FGX. So, dia sebenarnya boleh equal, right? So, we can actually write this equals to 3x squared minus 8, right? So, I'll write negative qx squared plus 2 minus r equals to 3x squared minus 8. Sir, why you write the 2 at the back? Okay, it's because I know that I'll need to compare later. Second banding, right? And when I banding, I will look for similar things first. So on both sides, they both have what? X squared and x squared, right? So when I compare the x squared and the x squared same already, that means the number before x squared have to compare with the number before x squared. Okay, it means you take the perkali for x squared and the perkali for x squared, and then you connectkan dia. Means you take the coefficient lah. So the negative q equals to 3 like that. And then what about the negative 8? That would be the whatever remains lah, the balance. So whatever remains, that's the one lah. So 2 minus r equals negative 8. That is why the 2 I choose to write after the x square. Yeah, because the one yang dia bagi is like something x square and then minus number. So here also I write something x square and then the rest all I put it here because that would be the number like that. Okay, supaya dia senang untuk compare lah. Okay, so now you can find your Q already, negative 3, and then you can find your R also, 2 plus 8 is 10. So your R equals to 10. Okay, so that should be your answer. Now let's do B. Find the value of G and then kuasa 2 kosong. So G square 0. Okay, the meaning is G big bracket and then G 0. Okay, alright, if you have GGX, then you can straight away sub the 0 inside the GG function. But you don't have the GG function, right? Yeah, you only have GX. So it's okay, you can do it like this. Buat dalam dulu. You do the G0 inside first. And then after you calculate inside, dapatkan image for 0. And then baru ganti dalam outside punya G again. Okay. So, buat dalam dulu. So, G yang dekat luar tu, tulis je, biarkan. And then G0 dalam tu, you boleh buat. Alright, G0 means what? It means you have to take the 0, sub inside the GX punya X. And the GX is QX square plus R. So, it will be QX square plus R, but the X is sub with the 0. And guess what? The Q and R also can sub with negative 3 and 10. That means this becomes what? This becomes, okay, actually I should write the GX here. So QX square plus R, but Q is negative 3. So it becomes negative 3x square plus R is plus 10, right? So when you sub 0 inside here, it becomes negative 3 bracket square plus 10 with the 0 like this. Okay, dalam boleh buat dalam dulu. So the G nanti dulu, yang G tu nanti dulu, dalam boleh buat dalam dulu. 0 square is 0, 0 times negative 3 is 0 also, 0 plus 10 is 10. So now you just find G10. Okay, it is easy. Just ambil 10, ganti dalam GX punya X. So GX kita refer sini lah. Negative 3x square plus 10. Tapi X tu kena diganti dengan 10. 10 square, 100. 100 times 3, negative 300 plus 10, negative 290. And that should be your final answer. Alright, that's all. Okay, number 3. Okay, I see some index here, some log here. So I know this is from chapter 4, the indices, surd, and logarithm chapter. Okay, let's start with question A. Given 2 power m times 5 power m equals to a power 2m times b power m. Express A in terms of B. It means dia nak A single lah. Alright, so I can see that this is the A, right? So I will try my best to make it single. Okay, first of all, the left hand side 2 power m times 5 power m, you can actually combine become 10 power m. Yes, memang boleh buat macam tu. Alright, you learned before in indices, if you have same base, for example, a power m times a power n, same base, and then kalau dia times, you can combine jadi satu base, but the power need to plus lah. Then what if same base divide? If same base divide, it become power kena minus like that. Okay? That means same base you can, kalau same base darab power kena tambah, kalau same base bahagi power kena minus. Tapi one more thing is when dia tak sama base tapi power sama, dia sebenarnya boleh gabung also. But make sure the power is same lah, right? But what if the base is not same, power also not same? Then that one tak ada chance already lah. Okay? So this one you can see even though the base is not same but the power is the same. They are both power m. That means you can write it like this: 2 times 5, which is 10 power m. Right? And then equals to a power 2m times b power m. And since I want the a, so I will slowly pindah everything to the other side. So of course the b power m needs to go there. So it becomes a power 2m. So 10 power m have to divide with b power m. And guess what? They both have the same power again. That means we can write it like this: 10 over b, everything bracket power m like that. And then a power 2m. Okay, now the next step is to pindah. Okay, let me think. Alright, there's two methods to do this. One method is you make it both side power m. Yeah, you make both side power m. Okay, because if both side also power m, then you can erase the m already. Basically you can cut the m already because you learned before, right? If let's say a power m equals to b power m, that means a equals to b. Yeah, because if it's like single base on both sides and the power is same, that means the base will automatically be same. Okay, so what I can do here is I jadikan yang ni pun power m, but this one is a power 2m, right? But you can write it like this: a power 2 and then power m. Because when the power side by side like that means you kena times. So 2 times m will give you 2m. Okay. And kenapa saya tulis macam ni? Sebab saya nak jadikan dua side power m power m. So you can see power m, they both power m. So we can compare, or you can say we can just stop writing it. So you just left with 10 power A equals to A power 2. And the answer is A power square hantar jadi plus minus square root 10 over B like that. So that's the answer. Okay. Okay, of course, there's another way to do it. All right, another way is like this. You do until here, and then from here, you pinna the 2. Yeah, you pinna the 2. Okay, but the 2 is actually square, right? So when you pinna there, it will become 10 over B power M power 1 over 2. Yeah, I don't know if you know this or not, but when you pinna, like for example, let's say you have x power 3 equals to 27 lah, and you want to pinna the 3, when you pinna, it becomes 1 over 3. Yeah, because cube jadi cube root, and cube root is 1 over 3 lah. So let's say this one is n, then pinna jadi 1 over n. So if let's say this one is 2, then you pinna jadi 1 over 2 lah. That is why this 2m, when you move there, become power 1 over 2. And you will get a power m. And then this would and then this power side by side, you kena darab sekali, right? Wait, I feel like I did some mistake. Okay, wait. Uh, 10 over b power m. 10 over b power 1. Okay, this one is m over 2. Wait, b power m. Guys, this one is 10 power m divided b power m, right? So 10 over b power m, and then I want to find a. So, oh yeah lah, correct lah. So yeah, so this one will becomes 10 over b, and then power m over 2. Yeah, because the power side by side so you times like that. But since I want the a only, so the m will go again. So it becomes 10 over b power m over 2, and then power 1 over m. Same concept like just now lah. Because at first it's 2m 2m pindah jadi power 1 over 2. Right? Jadi power 1 over 2. And now it becomes power m pergi. So jadi power 1 over m lah. And then this one is m over 2. And if the power side by side, you multiply again, right? So you left with 10 over b. Okay, m over 2 times 1 over m. The m atas darab bawah. So it becomes m over 2m. And then the cut already, left with 1 over 2. And guess what? Power 1 over 2 means square root. So it becomes square root 10 over b, but with the plus minus lah. Yeah, so as you can see, the answer is same. Okay. So both also you can do it lah. But of course, this one better lah. I recommend this one. Okay. Okay, I think it's enough already for this. Now let's do B. Okay, this one is clearly a log question. So log 2x base 16 plus log x base 2 equals -1. Alright, when we are doing log question, always check the base. If the base is not same, then there's nothing you can do already. You have to change the base. Alright, so the log base here is base 16 and the base here is base 2. So I will jadikan dia same base sekarang. Alright, base 16 and base 2, both this number can change to base 2. So I've decided I will change everything to base 2. So the formula to change base is you have to write the log number atas, the 2x tulis atas, and then the log base you tulis bawah. And then what base you want now? Base 2. So here you write 2 like that. Okay, this one is already in base 2, so jangan kacau dia. The negative one is on the right side. So that the one just write on the right side lah. Okay, sampai sini you boleh buat log 16 base 2. Because log 16 base 2 is 4. Because 16 can change to 2 power 4, and then the 4 boleh hantar depan, and then tinggal 4 times log 2. But log 2 is 1, so you just left with 4. And now how to get rid of the 4? Take the whole thing times 4. Because you want to hilangkan fraction, right? So when you take everything times 4, you will get log 2x. And when you times 4, the 4 hilang already because cut already. And then yang ni times 4, dia akan jadi 4 log 2x. And then this one also times 4 become -4. Okay. Alright, now this one you can combine jadi single log. Because it's already log same base. And then if separate log plus, you can memang boleh use the multiplication rule formula. Combine jadi single base. But let's make sure before log tak ada number dulu. So log 2x, the 4 have to naik atas balik jadi power macam ni. And then equals -4. Sekarang kita boleh combine. So bila kita combine, dia akan jadi separate log plus jadi single log times. So it becomes log base 2 siapa times siapa? 2x times x power 4, which is 2x power 5. Okay, and then equals to -4. Alright, when you have log something base something equals to something, log something base something equals to something, you can do anti-log. What is anti-log? Anti-log means you pindah the log base to the other side, and then when you do that, the log will hilang terus, and then this log base will become the number base, and then this thing become the power. So 2x power 5 equals to the 2 go there becomes the number base, and then negative 4 become power like that, right? Okay, now we can just solve for x. All right, first of all, what is 2 power negative 4? 1 over 16. Because 2 power negative 4 means 1 over 2 power 4, so 1 over 16, and then 2x power 5 is here. And now slowly pindah the 2 there, it becomes 1 over 32. Okay, 1 over 16 divided 2, 1 over 32. And then now pindah the power 5. Okay, power 5 when you pindah dia akan jadi punca kuasa 5. Punca kuasa 5, like that, right? And if you tekan this, you'll get 1 over 2. Yeah, because 1 power 5 is 1, and then 2 power 5 is 32. So that's the X answer. All right, that's all. Okay, number 4, what chapter is this? Vector. So it's a Form 4 chapter 8 questions. Okay, given point P, negative 3, 2, point Q, 12, 7, and point R lies on a straight line. That means they are collinear lah. Yeah, PQR, they are all on a straight line. Such that PR is 3 or 5 PQ. Okay, I think I have to draw it out lah, guys. Yeah, because if I don't draw, I cannot label this ratio. Yeah, so to make sure I can label this ratio, I will just draw it out. But it's okay. You can simply draw it. No need to draw so nice. And also tak ada markah untuk lukisan ni. This drawing is just for us to understand the question better. Huh? Alright, so we have PQR, but we know that who's between R, right? Yeah, P and Q mesti dekat hujung. Alright, so P is negative 3, 2, and then Q is 12, 7. Okay. And then the R lies on the straight line, so just simply put somewhere in between like that. And now we can write the ratio. So this one, what's the meaning? You can pin out the PQ here, it becomes PR over PQ equals to 3 over 5, right? That means PR ratio PQ is 3 ratio 5. So the PR ratio is 3, the PQ ratio is 5. But PQ is the whole line. So you have to minus with 3 to get the ratio here, which is 2 lah. Okay. And then now they say by using vector arithmetic operation, find soalan A, they want to find vector PQ. Okay. All right. First of all, this is a coordinate vector question because they give you coordinate, and yeah, definitely your answer would be in terms of IJ. Definitely your answer will be in terms of IJ. So what they want is the whole line vector from P to Q, but it will be in terms of IJ lah. All right. So how you do it? You can just take the Q punya coordinate minus P punya coordinate because you are going from P to Q. And since you already have both the PQ coordinate, yeah, you can just ambil Q minus P. Bukan P minus Q, Q minus P. Sebab dia nak P ke Q. So dia kena Q minus P. So I will tulis siap-siap dulu something I plus something J macam ni. Right? So remember it's Q minus P. And I will ambil X tolak X dulu. So 12 minus negative 3 means 12 plus 3. Yang tu tulis dekat I lah. And then 7 minus 2 yang tulis dekat J. So the answer is 15I plus 5J. That's the answer. Okay. Okay, there's another method to do it. You can also do it like this. PO plus OQ can also. Yeah, it means you go to the O. O would be the origin 0, 0 lah. But when you go from P to O, you have to take O punya coordinate minus P punya coordinate. So it means you have to take 0, 0 minus negative 3, 2. So you get 3, negative 2 lah. And then plus with O to Q. Okay, O to Q, you can straight away take the 12, 7. And then when you plus, you will get the same answer also. Okay. Okay, kenapa OQ boleh terus ambil 12, 7 is because O to Q, it means Q minus O. So Q minus O, but O is 0, 0. And when you minus 0, 0, nothing changed. That's why it will stay the same 12I plus 7J. Okay. Then you will get same answer also. All right, let's do B. They want to find magnitude of OR. Okay, but make sure we have vector OR first, because if you don't have the vector OR, we can't find the magnitude. Okay, OR is, okay, I don't have, right? So how do you find the OR? Okay, I can use the point C formula, right? Because they give us the point here, and then I can just use the point C formula. You remember the one you have to darab ratio Jawo, because you have to coordinate find here, right? Yes, but they got mentioned they said have to use the vector arithmetic operation. So I feel like they are trying to say that you can't use, so maybe they are trying to say cannot use the coordinate geometry punya cara lah. Cannot use the point C formula. So what other method I can use? Alright, I think I can do it like that. I can find PR vector. I can find PR vector. Okay. Let me think. PR is equals to PO plus OR, right? PR is PO plus OR. And since I'm trying to find OR, I'm just gonna call this XY, XI plus YJ lah, I don't know. Eh? And then PO, I can find it myself. PR, I can also find it myself. Because PR is 3 over 5 PQ. Yeah, so 3 over 5 times PQ, that would be 3 over 5 times with the PQ 15.5. It's the same as this, huh? I just write it in the bracket form. And then for the PO, that would be, that one have to take O punya coordinate minus P lah. Okay, which is 0 minus negative 3, that will be positive 3, and then 0 minus 2 will be negative 2 like that. Okay, so now I can find the xy, and then after I find the xy, that will be my OR. And after I have my OR, then I can find the magnitude. Yeah, okay. And I'm sure the answer you get here will be the same as the kalau you use the upper point C formula. But I don't think we can do like that because they already said have to use the vector arithmetic operation. So that's why I didn't do using the point C formula. Okay, the 305 have to times with both the numbers here. So you're gonna get cut 9 and cut left with 3. Okay, and then it's 3 negative 2 plus xy. Okay, now you want to find xy, right? So just pina this jadi tolak. Okay, when you tolak, you have to take I tolak I, J tolak J. So 9 minus 3 is 6. 3 minus negative 2 is 3 plus 2, so 5. So there you have it. That's your magnitude. That's your OR vector. Okay, OR vector is XY, so your OR vector is 6, 5. Okay, belum siap lagi dia nak magnitude. So I will do it up here. So the magnitude of OR, the formula you use will be the square root bracket square plus bracket square. And inside the bracket, you have to masukkan number before IJ, which is 6 and 5. So you press this, you will get 61. Okay, let's tekan square root 61 and see what I get. Alright, I think they give me decimal. Yeah, 7.810. Yeah, because it's not a perfect square, right? 61 is not a perfect square. So yeah, I think you can just stop here. Okay. If you want to write the decimal can also 7.810. Okay. Yeah. But usually kalau dia tak boleh square root, I will just stop dekat sini. Tapi kalau boleh simplify the cert, then you simplify lah. Simplify cert means when the number inside the square root boleh divide with the perfect square. But 61 cannot. Yeah, 61 cannot. Right? So if you tekan also, they will just give you the decimal. Okay, so I will just write like this. Okay, all right, I'll just write the decimal version beside, so that some of you can check your answer if you want. Okay, 7.810. All right, that's all for this question. Okay, let's do number 5. Okay, what chapter is this? This one is coordinate geometry. Yeah, so it's from 4 chapter 7, I think. Yeah, the vector is chapter 8, right? Yeah, correct. Okay, let's read the question. Diagram 2 shows a kite ABCD. So this is a kite. So this line and this line mesti sama panjang, this line and this line mesti sama panjang, and the diagonal AC and diagonal BD will intersect here, and the BD will, this one will be midpoint. This one will be midpoint. And then this one we don't know lah. Yeah, this one the satu panjang satu pendek kan. Okay, tak apa, I'm sure they will give me more information. So let's erase this. Okay, let's see what it says. Given point B is 2, 2. Okay, very good. They give us the point B. Let's label it. And then C is 5, 1. Label that also. D64, okay, label that also. Okay, the line AB is parallel to y-axis. All right, let's stop here. AB is parallel to y-axis. Okay, usually when two lines are parallel, I will put the arrow to show that they have the same gradient. Okay, if AB is parallel to y-axis, it means AB is a vertical line. AB is a vertical line. And what is the gradient for vertical line? Math error. Okay, it will be infinity. Untuk line yang macam ni, dia tak ada gradient. Okay, and to be specific, the gradient is math error, is infinity. Okay, because if the line is vertical, the y coordinate minus the y coordinate, the formula for gradient is y minus y over x minus x, but the x minus x will be 0. So when you divide by 0, you get math error lah. Okay, okay, but that's not the important point here. The important point here is the point A will have the same x coordinate as point B, which is 2. Because imagine if this is completely straight vertical, that means the A, if I go down, it will be same with the point B x coordinate lah. That's why I can know that this x coordinate is 2. But the y coordinate, I don't know. But it's okay. Let's just place y for now. I'm sure later ada cara untuk cari. And then what else? The line XAC is the axis of symmetry of the kite. So if I join the line from A to C, this side of the kite and this side of the kite would be same size. That's what it means lah. Axis of symmetry ma. Okay. All right. So I'm done reading the question. Now let's do it. A, find the equation of AC. Okay. When we are doing Addmaths and we want to find equation of line, we will always use this formula: y minus y1 equals to gradient x minus x1. Okay. But we need to have gradient and also the x1 and the y1. It means we need the gradient of AC and also we need one coordinate that passes through the line AC that we can put inside the x1, y1. Okay. And we actually have the point. Point C is perfect. Okay. Point C we can. So later the point C51 we can put inside the x1, y1. The problem is the gradient. Yeah, the problem is the gradient. And I can't find the gradient directly because I don't have point A. Okay. Yeah, I need to have 2 points on this line. Baru boleh saya guna gradient formula. I have point C, but the point A is like it's not complete. So I think I have to use another way to find the gradient, and I already know how to find it. You have to join another line from B to D because the two diagonals they will intersect at a 90 degrees. Okay, they will intersect at a 90 degrees. That means the BD gradient and the AC gradient will be perpendicular. They will be perpendicular to each other. So what you can do is you can find the gradient of BD first. I know that's not what I want, but you find the gradient of BD first and then use the formula M1 times M2 equals -1 to find the gradient of AC. Because when two lines are perpendicular, dia punya gradient darab mesti dapat -1. Okay, so that's the plan now. So BD gradient will be y minus y, 4 minus 2, x minus x is 6 minus 2, and you're gonna get 2 over 4, which is 1 over 2. And that's the gradient of BD, but I want AC, right? So your gradient of AC actually multiply with gradient of BD should be -1 because they are perpendicular. Okay, that means your gradient of AC times with 1 over 2 will give you -1. So your gradient of AC is -1, divide 1 over 2. Okay, divide 1 over 2 means times 2. So you'll be -2. Now that you have your gradient, and you also have a point that you can use for the x1, y1, now you can put inside this formula. Okay, so it become y minus something equals to gradient x minus something, and for the gradient it will be -2 lah, because you are finding equation of AC. So mestilah you masuk gradient AC. And then for the x1, y1, you can masuk satu point yang passes through garisan AC, and I can see the only point I can use is the point C51. Okay, 5 is the x coordinate, so tulis dekat x tapi kena tukar tanda. 1 is the y coordinate, so tulis dekat y tapi kena tukar tanda. So kalau plus 1 jadi -1 because the formula memang macam tu. Alright, so now you can expand -2x, -2 times -5, +10 I think. Yeah, and then the -1 can move over there, and then number dengan number boleh buat. 10 plus 1 is +11. So there you have it. That's the answer. Right, let's do B. Diagonal BD intersects AC at P. Where is it? BD and AC. Okay, I already draw the two lines, and now they say intersect at P. It means this is the P lah. Okay, and I need you to know P will be the midpoint of BD. Yeah, it will be the midpoint of BD. Yeah, okay. It means the intersection point of the kite will always be the midpoint of the shorter diagonal. The shorter one. So these two diagonal, this one is the shorter diagonal. And if you find the midpoint of, you will get the intersection point. Okay, such that AP, PC, MN, find the ratio. Okay, I think you have to find the point P first lah, guys. Yeah, without the point P, you can't do all this, right? So let's ignore all this first. Yang tu nanti baru kita worry about it. Sekarang kita worry about finding the point P first. So point P, I told you, is the midpoint of BD. So let's use the formula x plus x divide 2, y plus y divide 2. So it's the BD midpoint, so it'll be 2 plus 6, 2 plus 4. Okay, x plus x, 2 plus 6, y plus y will be 2 plus 4. Alright, so you get the midpoint here. 2 plus 6 is 8, divide 2 is 4, 2 plus 4 is 6, divide 2 is 3. This one is 4. Alright, after finding the point P, now you can label this. So they can say that point P such that AP, PC, MN find the ratio. So the AP, okay, I feel like it's better I just draw out a new one. Let's draw it here. So we have point A, point P, and point C. The ratio is AP, ratio is M. So here is M, and then PC is N. So this one is ratio N. And do we have all three coordinates? If you have all three coordinates, then it's good. Okay, I have the point P, 4, 3, 5, 1. Okay, all right. If I need the point A. Okay, actually the point A, I only know the x coordinate, but actually I can find the y coordinate. Yeah, because remember just now I already find the equation of AC. Y equals -2x plus 11, right? And this is the equation of AC. And this point A actually is on this line. So since the point A is on the line, that means you can sub inside to find the y coordinate. So you sub x equals 2, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus 11 is 7. That means this one is 2, 7. So this is 2, 7. And why is that important? Why is this point A, P, and C important? Because in order to find the ratio, you need to have all 3 points. Yeah, so that you can use the point C formula. I call it the point C formula lah. And the formula is actually the formula you use when you want to find the divisor of line segment. You darab macam ni kan? Yeah, because when you have ratio and you have these two coordinate, you can darab macam ni to get the point here. Okay, but this one is a bit different. You've kena cari balik the ratio. Okay, and you already have the answer. Okay, the point in between the divisor point is already, that's the answer already. So I will just write the 4, 3, that's the answer. And then here I will open the formula for the point C formula. Okay, so you have to take point A times N, point C times M. Always darab dengan ratio yang jauh. So 2 times N, 7 times N. Okay, 2N I write here, 7N I will write here because 7 is the Y coordinate. And then 5, 1 have to times M. Okay, but 5 is the X coordinate, so 5M tulis sini lah. And then 1 times M is 1M tulis sini. Okay, nothing in between means plus. And then bawah mesti ratio tambah M plus N, M plus N. Okay, okay, now we can compare. And after we compare, we will work towards finding the M ratio N. Okay, okay, how to find M ratio N? Very easy. You find M over N first. After you find M over N, then just change the over to ratio. Then you get the answer already. So this is what we want now, M over N. Okay, when you compare, you can compare X with X ataupun Y with Y. But I'm sure both will give you the same answer, so it doesn't matter. So I'll just do X equals X. So 2N plus 5N over N plus N equals to 4. Right? So remember, this is what I want, M over N. So how to jadikan yang ni tukar jadi M over N? Alright, first hilangkan fraction dulu. 4 times M is 4M plus 4N. And then here is 5M plus 2N. And now I will pindah yang ada M on one side, yang ada N on the other side. Yeah, I pindah yang ada M on one side, and then yang ada N on the other side. Supaya nanti saya boleh hantar N ke sini, then dia akan jadi M over N, which is what I want. Macam tu. Okay, so siapa yang ada M? That one, because yang ada M, I have to put on the same side. So these two have M. So the 4M pindah here lah. 5M minus 4M, you just left with 1M. And then the yang ada N one should be written on the other side. So this one is 4N, tapi tambah 2 hantar jadi minus 4 minus 2N is 2N. Okay, now I sudah berjaya dapat M equals to N, but I want M over N. So the N darab boleh hantar sini jadi bahagi lah, equals to 2. And then nothing bawah means 2 or 1. So now you have your M ratio N answer. It's 2 ratio 1. Okay. Okay, so let me make a little bit space here. So M ratio N is actually 2 ratio 1. And that's the answer lah. Finish already. Okay. Alright, I want to prove to you that if I do Y coordinate, I will get the same answer. So let's do it. 7N plus M over M plus N equals to 3. Darab jadi 3M plus 3N. Here it will be M plus 7N. Right? Okay. M plus 3 jadi minus 3. So 1M minus 3M is negative 2M. 7M pindah jadi tolak 3N minus 3. 3N minus 7N. So 3 minus 7N negative 4N lah. And since, okay, bila pindah negative 2M equals 4N like that. So they both become positively. And then now pindah the 2, I guess. So M equals 2N. And then M over N equals 2 over 1. And then M ratio N equals 2 ratio 1. So you can see same answer. So you don't have to do both lah. In exam, tak payah buat dua-dua. Yeah, just do one of it is enough already. Okay. But I guess I guess you can do it secretly to check your answer also. Yeah. Because if the answer here and the answer here not same means you know you did something wrong, right? Yeah, the X coordinate and if you compare the X coordinate and you compare the Y coordinate, they should give you the same ratio. Right? Okay, so I think that's all. Yep. Let's continue. Alright, we are at question 6. Diagram 3 shows two sectors OAB and OCD with arc AB and CD center at O. Alright, so we have two sectors. One is OAB, this one. And you can see the radius is OA and OB. Okay. And the arc is AB. Okay. And then the other sector is OCD, which is the big one. And the radius is OD and OC. And the arc is CD, and they both have the same center O. Alright, understand? So far, so good. Given that AOB is 0.52 radian, alright, that's good. They gave us the angle, so we should label. Okay, it's in radian. OA is 6 cm, so this one is 6. So OB should be 6 also, because this is the radius. Both these line are the radius for the small sector. Arc length CD is 5.98, so that one I can write here and confirm later. Can use the arc formula. Yeah, because they give us the arc answer. So we can use the arc formula to cari balik the radius or the angle. Okay, number one says calculate the length of OD. Okay, length of OD, it means they want to find the radius of the big sector. And you already have the arc for the big center and also the angle. That means we can use the arc formula lah. So the arc formula is r theta, and the arc I will take 5.98 because we are using the big sector to do it now, right? Yeah, because I'm finding OD. OD is the radius of the big sector. So obviously you need the big sector punya arc. And then the radius, that's the OD lah. And then times with theta in radian, that will be 0.52. Okay. Yeah, this 0.52, actually both this sector, they have the same angle. They have the same angle. All right, so now how to find OD? 5.98 divided 0.52 lah. So I'll get 11.5. And let's write the unit is in cm. Okay. Okay, let's do B. They want to find area of shaded region. So I'm going to do it here. Okay, the shaded region is this. So this one you have to take the area of big sector minus area of small sector. Okay. Okay, the formula for area of sector is 1 over 2 r squared theta. So what's the r of the big sector? 11.5. And then what's the theta in radian? 0.52. But of course you have to minus with what? 1 over 2 r squared theta again. But this time is the small sector, so the radius is 6 and the theta is 0.52. Now I will press this inside my calculator and see what we get. All right, 34.385. Okay. And then for the other one, you press all this, you will get 9.36. And then finally, you minus, you get 25.025 cm square. Okay, let me just double check again. 0.52. Yeah, 34.385 minus answer. Yeah, 25.025. Okay, dia punya jawapan tak bagi banyak-banyak decimal place kan. So kalau tak bagi banyak-banyak decimal place, dia stop dekat sini. So just write, tulis je lah. But if they give banyak-banyak decimal place, then I will just write 4 significant figure. Okay. Tapi kalau dia stop macam ni, it's just one more digit mah. So include it lah. Alright, that's all. Now I will continue. Okay, number 7, this one is clearly progression chapter, so it's from 4 chapter 5. Okay, the Janjang chapter. Okay, I think I will do my A up here. Okay, it is given that the first 3 terms of a sequence are x power 2, x power 3. Okay, let's write it here. X power 2, x power 3. This one confirm geometric lah, right? Yeah, because times x, right? Okay, now it says, state the type of sequence, give a reason for your answer. Nyatakan jenis jujukan, beri satu sebab. Okay, it's geometric lah. Like, there's only 2 types of sequence. It's either the arithmetic or geometric. This one is confirmed geometric. Okay, but how do we prove it? So how to show the working? Okay, we can find the ratio here and find the ratio here and prove that they have the same ratio lah. Okay, I already know it will be the same. Okay, but you should show the working. So the R1 will be x power 2 divided x, and then the second, the R2, the ratio for here will be x power 3 divided x power 2. And x power 2 divided x is x, x power 3 divided x power 2 is x also. Because when it's same base divide, the power have to minus. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So you can see the R, they have the same R. That means it's a geometric sequence. So I'll write here, since R1 and R2 get same thing, therefore this sequence is a geometric progression. This sequence is a geometric sequence ataupun geometric progression. Okay. Okay, now imagine if you find the difference. Instead of finding ratio, you find the difference. It means you take ini tolak ni, and then later for the R2 you ambil ini tolak ni kan. But that one confirm is the difference is not same. Yeah, that's why it's not arithmetic. Kalau arithmetic dia punya beza kena sama. Tapi kalau geometric dia punya nisbah kena sama. Nisbah is the ratio. Okay, that's it for A. Alright, let's do B. Starting from 2020, electric car sales in Malaysia have consistently increased by 8.5%. So definitely it's a geometric progression lah. Because when they say increase by percentage, mesti Yeah, mesti it will be geometric one. Okay, a total of 32550 units of electric car was sold in 2021. And then company T is one of the companies supplying electric car in the Malaysian market and managed to dominate 30% of the market share from 2023 to 2025. Estimate the number of electric cars successfully sold by company from 22 to 25. Okay, I don't want to see this first. Okay, yeah, I don't care about what they want first. I want my progression first. I want to make sure I am able to write down the first three terms of the progression first. So, starting from 2020, so let's say this one is year 2020, the electric car sales start to increase by 8.5%. That means from 2020 to 2021, increase 8.5%, to 2022, same also increase 8.5%. But the weird thing here is they give you the total car sold in 2021. So 32550, they give it here. That's the weird thing, right? Okay. And then can I find the 2022? The answer is yes, right? But we don't have to do that. Okay, because we already can jadikan A. Okay, it means I think I will jadikan this one my T1. Yeah, I will jadikan this one my T1. Okay, and then my A will be 32550 lah. And then my common ratio will be 1.085. Yeah, it will be 1.085. Let me tell you why. Because it's consistently increased by 8.5%. That means to get the next year, what you have to do, you have to take 32550 times with 8.5%, and then the answer have to plus with the original value. Okay? Which means you are actually taking this times with 108.5%. Because you times 8.5% and then plus with the original 100% value. So why not? Why not? You straight away darab dengan 108.5%, which is 1.085. Faham so that's why I straight away can write like that. And now you can find what they want. Okay, company T is one of the companies supplying electric car in the Malaysian market and managed to dominate 30% of the market share from 23 to 25. So the company managed to dominate 30% of the market. Estimate the number of electric cars successfully sold by the company from 23 to 25. So I think I have to find the number of car from 23 25 dulu and then baru darab dengan 30% lah. That's the plan, right? So how to find 23 to 25? All right, 21, 22, the next one will be 23 already. And then next one will be 24 already. And then next one 25, right? But your T1 is 2021. So this will be your T2, this will be T3, this will be T4, this will be T5. And since you want the number from 23 to 25, means you want here, right? That means you need to find the T3 plus the T4 plus the T5. Okay? Okay, but it's a bit slow if I do like T3 plus T4 plus T5. You can do like that, S5 minus S2. But you can have to jadikan this one your T1 lah. Okay? Yeah, because S5 is the first 5 terms, and then just minus the first 2 terms, then you will get the sum here. Okay? Alright, there's another way to do it, which is you jadikan yang ini T1. Boleh juga. Tapi kalau you jadikan ini T1, then you have to find out the term here lah. And then after you find out the term here, then you have to maybe do S6 already. S6 minus S3. Can also. Okay, but I already decided to do like that, so I'll do like that. But you'll get the same answer, so it's not that important. Alright, the SN formula, dia ada fraction. Okay, so let me write down the SN formula. Okay, dia kalau 1 minus R, atas akan jadi A1 minus R power N. Tapi kalau dia R minus 1, atas akan jadi A R power N minus 1. And we will use this when your R are smaller than 1. And then this one is when R bigger than 1, baru kita guna yang ni. Okay. So your R is 1.085, so it's bigger than 1. So you should minus 1 actually. So you should use this. Okay. So I suka tulis bawah dulu 1.085 minus 1. This one also 1.085 minus 1. And then atas sini kena tulis A R power N minus 1. The A is 32550 with the bracket R power N. So 1.085. And this one is S5. So the power N is power 5 minus 1. Here you write the same thing, which is the A, and then R power N minus 1 will be 1.085. Okay, this one is power 2 lah, and then minus 1. Okay, alright, I'm sure I'll get the answer if I press all this. Okay, if I press everything here, I'll get 19287.8855. And then if I press all this, I'll get 67866.75. And then after I minus, I get 125,004.1355. Okay, What is this? This is the sum of electric cars sold from 2023 to 2025. The sum here. Okay. But this one is number of car, right? So number of car boleh ada decimal tak? Tak boleh kan? Because bilangan kereta. Takkanlah you jual a portion of the kereta. If you jual, you mesti jual the whole kereta one. So this one I feel like you have to round off. And the cara round off is like this. It will be 125,004 because the extra 0.1355 we don't count that as one complete car. So it's just 125,004 cars. Okay? That is sold from this. But they want to find the car that's sold by the company. Yeah, by that specific company. And they already said that specific company only dominate 30% of the market. So to find the car sold by that market specifically, it has to be 30% multiplied with this. So it will be 30 over 100 multiply 125,004. And I think you get decimal also, but it's fine. We can round off later. 37501.2. And same thing, you have to round off jadi 37501 cars. Yeah, because the extra 0.2, we don't count it as satu kereta yang lengkap. So it's just 37501 cars. So that would be the number of electric cars sold by the company lah. Alright, that's all. Okay, let's do number 8. This looks like a trigonometry question. So from 5 chapter 6. Okay. Alright, this chapter ada 4 jenis soalan yang boleh keluar dalam exam. 4 types of question. First type of question is they will ask you to find something data. Like maybe they will ask for cos theta or tangent theta or cosec theta, whatever lah. And for those kind of question, you have to lukis. And if you look at B, this is the one lah. You see, they want to find something theta. So this one for B later kena lukis. And then the second type of question is where they ask you to find theta or the x solve. And then the third type of question is the sketching question. And then the last one is the proving punya question. So A, they will say solve. So this is the type of question where you have to solve for x, right? Okay, for this type of question, tak payah lukis. Tak payah lukis. Tapi, you kena check whether it's normal case or special case later. If it's normal case, find out the reference angle and then check quadrant. But if it's special case, tak payah cari reference angle, terus tulis jawapan. Because special case, dia punya angle tak ada duduk dalam quadrant mana-mana. So you have to hafal the answer and write it down lah. Okay, so this one I will write the soalan first. Tangent square x plus 2 tangent x minus 3 equals 0. Alright, I realized that this is already a quadratic equation. Did you realize? It's a quadratic equation involving tangent. So we can actually just tekan the calculator and then factorize and get the answer for tangent x already. So the A you tekan 1, B you tekan 2, C you tekan -3 in the calculator. Okay? And then you get tangent x equals to 1. This one is -3. But of course, this one you have to write bracket bracket. And the one you have to letak balik, pindah balik jadi tangent x minus 1. Yang ni pindah balik jadi tangent x plus 3. Like this. Okay. Alright, I want to mention some careless mistake. Sometimes students might make this mistake. They might write x equals here. Okay, that one wrong lah. That one wrong. Okay. Okay, if this one is x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0, then you can write x equals. Because it depends on what's here, right? If this one is x, then this one is x equals. If this one is y, then it will be y equals. But if this one is tangent x, then the answer should be the answer for tangent x, not x, right? Okay, with that being said, let's continue to find x here. Alright, this one normal case or special case? Okay, for tangent, the only special case is 0. Yeah. So if your tangent answer is 1, this one is normal case. So for normal case, you have to find out the reference angle and then check the quadrant later. Okay, this one, tangent x equals -3. This one is also normal case. So I have to find the reference angle also. Okay. Alright, let's find out the reference angle here. Just tekan shift tangent 1. So you get 45 degrees. But now you have to check the quadrant. So add sugar to coffee. If your tangent answer is +1, that means it's in quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. That means you have to change the reference angle to quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. Okay, quadrant 1, that would be the reference angle 45 lah. And then to change to quadrant 3, you have to take 180 plus. So you will get 225. Okay, I know the questions here says the x answer has to be in between 0 and 180. But it's okay, we worry about it later. Nanti baru saya cancel jawapan yang sudah lebih 180. Okay, for this, let's tekan shift tangent 3 dulu to get the reference angle. Okay, don't tekan the negative. The negative is only there to tell you which quadrant. So don't press the negative. To find the reference angle, don't press the negative. Okay, shift tangent 3, I usually write in degree minute. So it's 71 degree 34 minutes. Now, check the quadrant. Tangent negative. Okay, if tangent positive is quadrant 1 and 3, tangent negative will be 2 and 4 lah. So this one is quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. Yang tadi is quadrant 1 and 3. Okay, how to change the reference angle to quadrant 2 and quadrant 4? Okay, to get quadrant 2, you have to take 180 minus. To get quadrant 4, you have to take 360 minus. So what is 180 minus this? 108 degree 26 minute. And then 360 minus this, you get 288 degree 26 minutes. Okay, finally, now we have to write our final answer. We have to combine the two answer here and combine the two answer here and write it in a row. Okay, tapi dia sudah cakap jawapan kena in between 0 and 180. So this one cannot take, this one cannot take. So the only answer yang boleh ambil is 45 degree and 108 degree 26 minutes. So that's the answer. Alright, now let's do B. Given cos theta over 2 equals to P such that theta is an acute angle. Okay, this is trying to tell you that it's in quadrant 1. And then expressed in terms of P, number 1 sine theta over 2, number 2 sine theta. Okay, guys, this type of question you have to draw. You have to lukis. Okay, bukannya pindah cos or tekan shift cos. No, 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 no. Don't pindah the don't do the shift cos shift sign unless it's jawab soalan jenis macam ni yang dia suruh cari solve, yang dia suruh cari x, cari unknown. Kalau bukan jenis soalan ni, don't do like that. So this one they actually never ask you to find the theta. They want to find something theta. So this one you have to look case lah. And for this type of question, they mesti akan cakap one the sudut is in which quadrant. Yeah, they should tell you, and they already tell you is an acute angle. So you draw it there, lah. Okay. And the reason why you're drawing it is you're trying to label this information inside the diagram. Okay. Okay, so you can see it's cos theta over 2 equals P. That means the angle that we are trying to label here is the theta over 2. Okay, but it's okay because later when you do question number 1, it's also for the angle theta over 2. So you can use the same right angle to help you. Okay, the cos formula is, okay, so ka toa. So the formula for ka would be adjacent of hypotenuse. And the cos theta over 2 answer is P, right? Okay, nothing down there means P over 1 lah. So P is the adjacent, 1 is the hypotenuse. Okay, if the pseudo is here, the opposite is this, right? And then hypotenuse will be the opposite 90 punya. So this one is O, and this one is H, this one is A. Okay, I can padam the A and tulis P. Okay, yeah, I can tulis P. And then I can padam the adjacent, hypotenuse. Because cos is A over H. So A over H, P over 1, right? So P is the A, and then 1 is the H. So padam yang ni, tulis 1. And now I can find the opposite, and you should find it. You should find it. When you have a right angle and you have two side like that, straight away you can find the remaining side, and you should find it. Yeah, kalau tak you tak boleh buat number 1 nanti. Okay, so how to find using Pythagoras theorem lah. So square root bracket square. Sini tulis 1, sini tulis P. Alright, plus or minus? Minus, because you are not finding the longer side. When you're not finding the longer side, the hypotenuse, you should minus. So the answer is square root 1 minus P square. And now you can straight to do the question 1. They're asking for sine theta over 2. And it's good because this diagram, this angle is theta over 2. So I can just straight away use this to find the sine. Okay, sine formula is SOH, opposite divide hypotenuse. So I will leave an empty space here and then write opposite, which is square root 1 minus P square, over the hypotenuse, which is 1. So the answer is square root 1 minus P square. Alright, why I say I have to leave some empty space? Because we have to check whether it's positive or negative. Yeah. So your theta over 2 is a first quadrant angle, right? Okay, actually theta is acute angle, but when you divide by 2, lagi lah acute angle. You faham? Because theta is already less than 90. Imagine dividing by 2 and it's positive 2. So when you divide by 2, confirm will be acute angle also. So the sine theta over 2 will be sine first quadrant. That's why you end up with positive answer. So that's why we don't have to put the negative lah. But you have to double check one. Sometimes if it's not acute angle, sometimes you have to put negative one. Okay, let's do number 2 now. Okay, they want sine theta. Okay, I cannot use this diagram already. You know why? Because this diagram is for angle theta over 2. And this one is for theta, right? And you don't tell me like, oh, sir, just take this answer, divide 2 lah. Because sine theta over 2 is this, ma. So to find sine theta, I just divide by 2 lah. Just take the answer here, divide by 2. Cannot. No, that's the wrong way to do it. So what you should do is you should use the half angle formula. Okay, half angle formula. Okay, let me open a new page and write the half angle formula for you. Okay, the half angle actually comes from the double angle. If you are my student, you know about this. So the double angle formula, you have the first one is sine 2a equals to 2 sine a cos a. And then you have the cos 2a, which is cos square a minus sine square a. And you can also change to 2 cos square a minus 1. And then also 1 minus 2 sine square a. Alright, there's the tangent 2a also, but that one I won't write lah, because we will not be using that one. Okay, the other one is called half angle. But half angle is basically the same with the double angle. It's just that instead of 2a dia jadi 1a. But when this one 2a jadi 1a, this a here right here also have to divide by 2. So it becomes 2 sine a over 2 cos a over 2. Remember, is the angle yang bahagi 2. Bukan this 2 Yang 2 ni still stay 2. Yang tu tak bahagi 2. Only the angle yang bahagi 2. Same with this. If I want the cos A, it means the angle kena bahagi 2. So instead of cos square A, it becomes cos square A over 2. And then minus sine square A over 2. It's literally the same thing here. Just that the A, instead of the A, it becomes A over 2. And then the last one will be 1 minus 2 sine square A over 2. Right? And this question, what I'm trying to find is sine A, right? Sine A. Okay? But I'm trying to use the diagram to help me. Right? Yeah, I'm trying to find sine theta, but I'm trying to use the diagram. And the diagram is theta over 2. So tell me which formula can help you find sine A using A over 2. This one lah, right? Sine A is actually 2 sine A over 2 cos A over 2. And for this, later you can refer your diagram. Yeah, you can refer your diagram. Okay. I just realized actually you can use this also. Cannot lah, cannot. Yeah, if you use this, you need cos A. And yeah, you can't find your cos A, because your diagram is A over 2. So I think the only that formula yang boleh tolong you is this one. Sine A equals to 2 sine A over 2 cos A over 2. So let's go back to the question. Sine theta is actually 2 sine theta over 2 cos theta over 2. And then now for the sine theta over 2, I can refer diagram. Cos theta over 2 can refer diagram also. Okay, sine theta over 2, you refer the lukisan, the drawing you did just now. So sine theta over 2, this is theta over 2, right? So just take the opposite and the hypotenuse lah. So it will be square root 1 minus p square over 1. And it will be positive, because it's first quadrant. First quadrant memang sign positive. Okay, actually you can tiru from your first question answer also. Because this is the answer for sin theta over 2. And kebetulan sekarang saya pun nak cari sin theta over 2. So that's why it's the same. Okay, now for the next one is cos theta over 2. Of course, you can tiru here also. Cos theta over 2 is P, so straight away write P. But if you want to tengok dari lukisan, can also. Cos punya formula is adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent is P. Hypotenuse is 1, so P over 1 will be P lah. And it will be positive also. Because first quadrant cos memang positive. First quadrant all positive. Okay, 2 dengan P boleh darab. So dapat 2P, and yang square root ni, yang tu tulis sebelah. So that's the answer. Alright. Okay, that's all for that question. Okay, let's do number 9. Okay, I see the limit. I know already it's from 5 chapter 2. The differentiation chapter. Okay, let's look at the question. Diagram 4 shows part of the graph function y equals fx. Okay, this graph, the shape is called the reciprocal. Yeah, it's in the shape of the reciprocal graph. Okay. Okay, let's see. Based on the graph, state number 1, the limit for x approaching 0 for fx. Okay, for this kind of equation, it will look like this. Yeah. When it's look like this, you will get a shape. When you will get a shape like this for the graph when the equation is like this. Yeah. But you will realize that it's not undefined at 0. Yeah, if it's like that, then it will be undefined at 0. Okay, but this one is undefined at 1. That means here got plus 1 lah. No. I think it means that the undefined case would be 1 lah. Okay lah, but it's not important lah. The equation is not important. What's important here is we just need the value for limit x approaching 0 fx. Okay, when you do x approaching 0, what you're basically finding is the y-intercept. Yeah, x approaching 0 means you sub x0 inside, right? So what you're finding is the y-intercept. So if you look carefully, the y-intercept is at -2. So the answer is -2. Okay. Yeah, no working, just like that, -2. And then for the next one is find the value of m if the limit x approaching m fx is undefined. So what x value sub inside will give you undefined? 1 lah. Yeah, one is when there's no solution. Yeah, because the reciprocal graph will not touches. Yeah, will just keep going up, but it will not go over this side one. Yeah, it will just keep getting closer and closer to this line, but it will never touch. So when the x is 1, that's when it's undefined. Okay, but they say find m, right? Yeah, so m is 1 lah. Because x approaching m. So if your m is 1, that means your x will be 1 and that will give you undefined. Alright, that's the answer for the A. Now let's do B. Okay, given gradient function of y equals gx is 3x squared minus px plus 3. Alright, you need to know this word. This is very important word in the differentiation chapter. Gradient function, I always call it short form, I call it GF. Okay, what is GF? dy dx. Okay, so the dy dx is 3x squared minus px plus 3. What's the meaning? It means ini yang sudah differentiate punya. Okay. Yeah, yang sudah differentiate, it's already differentiate already. You don't have to differentiate again already. If you differentiate again, you're getting the second derivative already. This is already the dy dx lah. Okay, point L1y is a turning point of the graph of function. Okay, let's write down point L1y, and this is the turning point. Alright, whenever you see the word turning point, ataupun minimum point, ataupun maximum point, and if it's a differentiation question, mesti you will think about what? dy dx equals 0. Okay, dy dx equals 0 because when it's a minimum point, maximum point, turning point, the gradient tangent would be 0. So you can do dy dx equals 0. And then number 1, find the value of p. So just take this whole thing equals 0 lah. So 3x squared minus px plus 3 equal 0. Okay, and do you know when you do dy dx equals 0, you will get the x coordinate of the turning point. And they already give you the x coordinate of the turning point, which is 1, right? But they ask you to find p. So even though I don't know the p berapa, but I know when I sub the 1 here, the whole thing should be equal 0. So I'll just sub 1 like that inside, and then now I can find p. 1 square is 1, 1 times 3 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6. So 6 minus p equals 0, and then negative p pindah jadi positive p equals 6. So that should be the answer. Okay, let's do second question. Alright, second question says state the nature of point L and then show the calculation to support your answer. Tentukan sifat titik L, tunjukkan pengiraan untuk menyokong jawapan anda. Okay, let's talk about the nature of turning point. Okay, right, let me write notes. Okay, so I'm gonna use this space right here. So let's talk about nature of turning point. Okay, what's the meaning of nature? It means the type of turning point. Yeah, ada berapa jenis turning point. Alright, first thing you have to know is turning point dia bukan ada minimum maximum saja tau. Sometimes ada minimum, sometimes dia boleh jadi maximum point, but sometimes dia boleh jadi inflection point also. Okay, inflection point dalam bahasa Melayu is titik lengkok balas. Okay, okay, how do you know whether it's minimum, maximum, or inflection point? You can use the second derivative method. Second derivative is the d2y over dx2. And after you do the second derivative, that value will tell you whether it's minimum or maximum. Okay, if the value is bigger than 0, then it's minimum. But if the second derivative answer is smaller than 0, it means it's a negative, then it's maximum. Okay, but what if it's exactly 0? That means it's an inflection point lah. Okay, so this is how you do it. Okay, there's another method to determine the nature of turning point. The other method is called the tangent sketching method. But I will not be using this method. I will only use the tangent sketching method when the soalan ask me to use this method. Okay. Okay, this method you have to draw table one. You have to draw table, and then you have to do like the graph sketching lah, the tangent sketching, and then basically you do all those things lah, and then you have to sketch a bit, do it in the table, everything. Okay. But I will not be doing this method for this question because the question never say which method, so I'll just go with the easy method. Okay. Yeah, so I will do it now. Oh, one more thing I want to mention. Minimum point usually look like this. Maximum point usually look like this. Inflection point is when it's like that. Yeah, it's not really minimum, it's not really maximum. It's just like in between like that. Okay. Yeah, so that's what inflection point looks like. All right, so let's go back to the question. Now let's try to find the nature. So I think we have to find the second derivative lah. All right, so d2y over dx2. Okay, I will just continue from here and then differentiate one more time. Okay, because d2y dx2 means you differentiate dua kali. Okay, this is already after differentiate satu kali mah. So if you differentiate this again, then you get the second derivative. Okay, differentiate 3x squared, which is 6x. Differentiate negative px, but your p is 6, guys. So it will be differentiate negative 6x, which is negative 6. And then differentiate 3 is 0. Alright, I already finished my second derivative, but you can see it's in terms of x, right? Okay, if it's in terms of x, just sub with the turning point you want to test. So you are trying to test for the nature of point L. So just sub the point L inside like that, and then get 1 like that. And then you get 0, right? Okay, so now you know already, this turning point is an inflection point. Because the d2y dx2 gives you 0. So now we can state the nature. So we can write since the second derivative d2y over dx2 equals 0, therefore point L, okay, okay, I don't know the full point L, right? So let's not write the coordinate, just write point L is an inflection point. Dalam bahasa Melayu is called titik lengkok balas. Okay. Okay, they say show the calculation to support your answer. This is the calculation lah. Done already. Okay. Alright, that's all. Okay, number 10, what chapter is this? Looks like a probability distribution, so it's a form 5, chapter 5 question. Okay, diagram 5 in the answer space shows the graph of standard normal distribution such that x and mean variance. Alright, let's go. Where is it? Okay, I see it now. So this one, diagram 5. Oh, yeah, this one, diagram 5. Okay, number 1 says state the value of mean and the variance. This is the symbol for variance. Okay, guys, if it's a standard normal distribution graph, that means the mean will be 0 and the standard deviation will be 1. Because standard means it's already convert to Z. Yeah, standard, no, when you see the word standard, it means dia sudah convert jadi Z already. It means the mean will be 0, the standard deviation will be 1. That is why if you look carefully at the vertical axis, the axis of symmetry cuts at 0. So that's the mean lah. So the mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1. But sir, they're asking for variance. Then you find 1 square lah. But 1 square is also 1. So why not you just write 1, right? Because 1 square also you get 1 also. Okay, that's how you do the number 1. Number 2, given that the mean is in between A and B. Okay. But mean is 0. And we all know when we write the in between, this one have to write the small number, this one have to write the big number. That means A must be lesser than 0. If A must be lesser than 0, A confirm will be negative number. And then B must be bigger than 0, right? Bigger than the mean. So if B must be bigger than 0, then B must be positive. But I don't know positive berapa lah. I just know that it's 1 negative, 1 positive. Okay, now they say shade on the diagram 5 for the region that represents probability P Z in between A and mean plus with P Z bigger than B. Okay, let's shade this one first. Okay, we already know A is a negative value. Okay, and then mean is 0. And then the area is in between the A and the mean. So let's go to the negative part. So this is 0, right? So the negative, so A should be somewhere here lah. Yeah, you can put anywhere lah, anywhere. Just make sure it's on the left side. Okay, so that will be your A. And then this is your line going up. And then the region in between 0 and here will be here lah. So this is the region they're talking about. Okay, Z in between A and the mean, which is 0. Z in between A and the mean. Yeah. Okay, but they say plus with the PZ bigger than B, and we already know the B is positive number. How I know? From here. Because they say mean is in between A and B. That means the mean has to be bigger than A but smaller than B. That means the A must be negative and the B must be positive. So now B go to the positive and then the area is bigger than B. So B is here. And since you want probability for Z bigger than B, bigger means you have to shade the right. Okay, shade the right side. So that's the answer. Okay, done. Number 3, determine the probability for Z in between negative infinity and infinity. It means they want to find the total probability for the whole bell shape. Because from negative, the whole shaded region. And we all know the total area or the total probability of the whole bell shape is 1. Okay. area and probability is the same thing. In this topic, area and probability is the same thing. So the total area is 1, the total probability is also 1. Okay, so that's all. It's quite easy, this question. Okay, now let's do B. Okay, this one is definitely binomial. Because this graph is the graph for binomial distribution. Yeah, so confirm is binomial. So later I have to list out the MPQ lah. Okay, diagram 6 shows the graph of binomial such that X. Okay, this is the notation, B and P. Okay, the N confirm is 3. Confirm. Because I know it from the graph here. So they already put 0, 1, 2, 3. And this one, the maximum here, that would be the N. Okay. And the question one says state the value of N. So sudah siap lah. Yeah. Okay, now second question, find the value of small p. It means the probability of success lah. Okay. Okay, from the diagram, we can see they give us the probability, right? The first one, px equals 0 equals k, right? The second one, px equals 1 equals to h. And then the next one, when the px equals to 2, you get h. 2 is h. And then px equals 3 equals k. Okay. Okay, avoid using these two to do it. Avoid using these two. Okay. Try to use this or this. Kenapa? Because if you use this, you can katang, you can potong. I said katang. Oh my god. You can potong. You can cut. Okay. Yeah, because the formula is NCR and then P power R Q power N minus R. So when the NCR, when it's NC0, it becomes 1. And then when it's NCN, it can cut jadi 1 also. That's why it's much more preferable to use this or this. Okay. If you use this one, then cannot cut. And later you will have problem for the P power and the Q power here. Okay. So let's try using the bawah yang ni. Px equals 3 equals k. So Px equals 3, that will give you k, right? And I'll use the formula. So it'll be 3C3 and then bracket, sini masuk P, sini masuk Q. But both the P and Q, both also I don't have. But it's okay. Just write PQ, and then this power will be same with number down here, and then 3 minus 3 is 0. You can see 3C3 boleh potong, Q power 0 boleh potong. That is why I choose to use these two. If I use this, then I cannot cut. Then I will end up with more unknowns and it will be harder to find. Okay, I get this. P power 3 equals to K. But the soalan asked me to find P. So I still stuck. So maybe I need help from another equation. So let's do for this one also lah. Yeah, it works. Because this one, the answer is also K, right? So I think I can do this. And then maybe try to ganti masuk lah. Maybe try to do simultaneous. Okay, so this one I will just call it equation 1 for now and then just stop dulu. Let's do the other one. Px equals 0 equals k, and then the formula 3C0 bracket. Okay, this one is the probability of success. P, this one is Q. Okay, the power same with number down here, 0, 3 minus 0 here, 3 equals K. Okay, 3C0 can cut because it's 1. P power 0 is also 1. Anything power 0 is 1. So you end up with Q power 3 equals K, right? And that's your equation 2. And now you can do simultaneous. Because this one, K sudah single, K sudah single. That means you can write K equals K lah. And then this one, this K you write P power 3. And the other K you write Q power 3. So that means P power 3 equals to Q power 3. But I'm trying to find the value of P. So how? Okay. Power 3, they both power 3. That means P is equals to Q lah. Right? Yeah, because they both have the same power ma. Yeah. Or you can say the power 3 pindah sana jadi cube root. But the cube root and cube you can cancel out. Yeah, you can cancel. Because cube root means power 1 over 3. So if you padam this pindah sana, dia jadi cube root is power 1 over 3 and then cut. So you're just left with P equals Q. Right? Now the problem is how to find the exact value of P. Alright, actually it's very easy. The answer is 0.5. You guys know why, right? Because we all know P is the probability of success, Q is the probability of failure. And if the P and Q must be same, that means P must be 0.5. Okay. But let's show the full working, and the full working will be like this. Because P plus Q has to be always 1. That means I can find Q single, Q is actually 1 minus P. So we can write it like this. P equals to Q, but Q is 1 minus P, right? And now we can solve for P lah. So minus P hantar jadi P plus P is 2P equals 1. So P is 1 over 2. Means 0.5 lah. Okay. Yeah, so, and it makes sense lah, because P equals to Q means they both, if you want the P and Q both to be same, they have to be 0.5. It cannot be 0.3. If it's like 0.3, then the other one should be 0.7 already. If you want them to equal, should be 0.5, 0.5, because the total probability is always 1. Okay, so yeah, that's how I would do it. All right, hope you understand. All right, let's do number 11. Okay, diagram 7 shows a graph of fx equals to modulus 2x minus 5 for x between -2 and 6. So this is the domain lah. Okay, this is clearly from 4 chapter 1, the function chapter. Okay, so they already draw the modulus graph and the domain is -2, x between -2 and 6. So what it means is basically they want the first point x coordinate to be -2 and the last point x coordinate to be 6. So that's the range of x. And then A says state the corresponding range for the given domain. It means they want you to find the range for the y-axis or the range of fx. Okay? This is the range of x, but I want the range of fx. So to find the range of fx, we need to ambil yang paling bawah punya point and paling atas lah. Yeah, because the y-axis is a vertical line. So to find the range of y-axis, you tengok vertical. But if you want the range of x, you tengok horizontal. All right, what is the paling bawah punya point? This one, right? So what's the y coordinate of this point? 0. That means the minimum is 0. And then the highest point is this. And what about the y coordinate? Well, we don't know, right? But we can find it, right? Yeah, we can find it. Just sub the x -2 inside. So I will erase this for now. And we all know this point, the x coordinate is -2. And I'm trying to find the y coordinate. So why not you substitute inside this? Because this is a point on the graph. So you can sub into the equation. So it becomes f -2 equals to modulus 2x minus 5. This one is -2. 2 times -2, -4 minus 5, -9. Modulus -9 is +9. So that is 9. This is 9. So that means the range of fx should be between 0 and 9. Okay, 0 and 9. So that would be the answer. Now let's do B. Find the domain of fx bigger than 9. All right, if you want fx bigger than 9, you should go to fx and cari 9 dulu, which is here, right? So imagine if your fx is bigger than 9, and if you keep drawing the graph, right, it's just gonna be going up like that, continue. It will not go down. It will just be a straight line, keep going up until forever. So they want fx bigger than 9. So there will be two range here, because when y equals to 9, when fx goes to 9, there will be, and if you draw a horizontal line, y equals 9, it will touch the graph at 2 points here. One here, right? So the range for the x will be here and here. That means there will be two answers. Yeah, there will be two domain. Okay, the domain for fx bigger than 9, it will be here and here. Because when y is greater than 9, all this will get erased. Yeah, all the graph below the 9 all will get erased. The only part left is this part right here and this part right here. That's why I said that you will be left with two answers. Okay. All right, so let me tell you how I will do it. First of all is you can just straight away write the fx bigger than 9. And then the fx you just sub with modulus 2x minus 5 bigger than 9 lah. Okay, I'm sure a lot of students, they don't know how to deal with uh bigger, smaller, the inequality when there's modulus, right? So you remember this, if it's modulus bigger, you will write 2x minus 5 smaller than -9, and then the other one is 2x minus 5 bigger than 9. Yeah, if it's modulus bigger, it's like that. But if it's modulus smaller, then you will also do like that, but later in the end you have to write in between. Yeah, the small number right here, the big number right here, if it's smaller. Okay. Yeah, because if it's smaller means the x range will be from here to here already. Okay. Yeah, but since now it's bigger, that's why you will separate into two lah. So it becomes 2x smaller than -9 plus 5 is -4, and then x smaller than -2, and then for this will be 2x 9 plus 5 14, x bigger than 7. So that means x smaller than -2, which is this part of the graph, x bigger than 7, which is when the y is 9 and then the x is 7 here lah. And then anything after the 7, that's the range for that's the x range answer. Okay, so that's would be the answer. So x smaller than -2, at the same time x bigger than 7. All right, now C. By using diagram 8 in the answer space, show whether the function f has an inverse or not. Justify your answer. All right, let's go to diagram 8. Okay, they did mention have to use what? Show whether the function has an inverse. But they say by using the diagram. So definitely you have to do the line test lah. Okay, for inverse, you have to do the horizontal line test. Okay, so just draw a horizontal line. So this is how you do the horizontal line test. Okay, you can draw it anywhere. And the horizontal line test is to test whether it has inverse or not. Then what about the vertical line test? Okay, the vertical line test is to test whether it's a function or not. Yeah, whether it's a function or not. So for this, they're asking to determine whether it has inverse. So we have to use the horizontal line test. All right. If the horizontal line cut the graph at only one point, that means dear other inverse. It means it dear passed the test. Okay, the graph passed the test. But if the horizontal line cuts the graph more than one time, that means you fail the test. It means no inverse. So as you can see, dear other inverse lah. Yeah. So what do you have to write here? No. Okay, no. Because for the reason you can write because when tested with the horizontal line test, when tested with horizontal line test, comma, the line cuts the graph at two different points. Okay, so that's the reason why this function has no inverse. Okay, because only one-to-one relation has inverse, and if it cuts at 2 points like that, that means it's not one-to-one. Okay, and it's actually a many-to-one lah. This modulus graph. Okay, all right. So hope you get it. Let's continue. Okay, number 12 is definitely the permutation combination. So it's Form 5, Chapter 4. Okay, diagram 9 shows 5 numbered cuts. All right, I can see it 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. Number 1, find the number of 4-digit numbers more than 6,000 that can be formed from the given digits without repetition. So I'm just going to do the A1 up here. Okay, there's 5 number cuts, but you're only forming 4-digit. So I will only draw 4 slots. So if no condition, it will be 5P4. Okay, because they already said number of digit that can be formed from, or they never say the keyword arrange, but you know it has to be permutation. Because when you're forming a digit, the order is important. Okay, you will actually arrange it. Okay, so yeah, you have to use permutation P lah. Okay, so if we do 5P4, that would be the answer lah for no kalau no condition. But they did say that they want the condition to be more than 6,000. So we have to consider that. So if you want more than 6,000 means you have to highlight this slot. Yeah, this digit here is important because if this digit is 7, then it will be 7,000 something. If it's 6, then it will be 6,000 something, right? So if you want a more than 6,000, then you have to make sure this slot can only muscle 6, 7 or 9 lah. Okay. Yeah, if muscle 6 can also, it will be 6,000 something, right? Yeah, so it will be 3P1. Okay, it means this 3 you will choose one to arrange inside this box. Okay, and let's say after one, let's say the 7 got chosen to masuk here, then you will left with 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, and the remaining 4 cards you just choose 3 to arrange inside this 3 slot, and then if you tekan this, you will get the answer. Okay, all right. So the answer is 72. Okay, let's do question number 2. How many ways are there to arrange all the cards in the circle? All right, this one you have to use the circle permutation formula. So if it's a circular permutation, the formula is n minus 1 factorial, or you can also do n factorial divide n. Okay, so if you want to arrange all the cards in the circle, it means you take all 5 lah. So it will be 5 minus 1 factorial, which is 4 factorial, and it's 24. Okay, if you do like that, can also you get same, right? Okay, so that's all. Now for B, 4 students are to be selected. All right, you see the keyword selected, right? So later confirm you will use C combination. Okay, because select means you choose. Choose means you will not arrange. We don't care about the order. We don't care about the susunan. Okay? All right, 4 students selected from 4 boys and 5 girls. So in total got 9 people. So if no condition, it will be 9C4. Okay, kalau no condition, it will be 9C4. All right, find the number of different ways to choose the participant if at least 3 boys are selected. So there's a condition here. So we cannot do 9C4. 9C4 is kalau semua boy pun boleh, semua girl pun boleh, apa pun boleh, campur pun boleh, whatever also can. Itu kalau no condition. But they want at least 3 boys. So it means it has to be either 3 boys or more than 3 boys. Okay. All right. 3 boys can, 4 boys also can. 5 boys is not possible because you're only choosing 4 students. So maximum you can go until 4 boys only. But you want to cukupkan 4 people, you have to masuk 1 girl here. And if you want to cukupkan 4 people, you will go 0 girl here because all 4 will be boys already. And then open bracket. Now we find out the number of ways. So 4 boys choosing 3 boys, 4C3. And then 5 girls choose 1 girl, 5C1. And then nothing here is times. And then here same, 4 boy choose 4 boy is 4C4. 5 girl choose 0, 5C0. And then times. And then tengah-tengah here will be plus. Alright, so you will get uh 20. And then this one you will get 1. So the answer is 21. So there will be 21 ways to select. Okay. Alright, that's it. Okay, bahagian B, jawab mana-mana 2 soalan daripada bahagian ini. Alright, in this video, I'll jawab all 3 questions. Yeah, I will not just choose 2. I'll jawab all of it. Alright, 13 is definitely indices log question. Yeah, A is a cert question, B is a log question, and C indices. Okay. Alright, so I write the chapter here, Form 4, Chapter 4, and I will start to do the A here. Alright, so let's read the question. Square root m times x plus square root 7 equals square root 3. Ungkapkan x dalam sebutan m. Means they want to express x in terms of m. So kalau you nak x single, you just pindah the square root 7 and then pindah the square root m, and that's it. Right? Okay, so let's do that now. So square root mx equals, okay, the square root 7 has to go become minus. So square root 3 minus square root 7. Okay. Alright, yang square root ni dengan square root ni dia tak boleh tolak. You cannot tolak. Unless it's bahagi lah. If bahagi, then you can write it as a single square root like that. But if it's plus minus like that, you cannot. Yeah, you cannot do anything. So now let's pindah the square root m. So dia can jadi square root 3 minus square root 7. Everything over square root m. Okay. Alright, of course you already berjaya cari x. But when you are doing cert question, you should always rationalize kalau bawah ada square root. Yeah, because rationalize is the equivalent of simplifying. So when your answer has square root dekat bawah, that means it's not in the simplest form. Okay, so it's not recommended to stop here lah. Okay? So what you should do is rationalize the denominator, and when you rationalize, you have to darab with the conjugate cert. So the conjugate cert will be cert m like that. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Untuk hilangkan square root dekat bawah. So square root n times square root m will give you m, and then this one is one term multiply 2 terms. So you have to darab macam ni like this. Square root m times square root 3 will be square root 3m. Square root n times square root 7 will be negative minus, and then square root 7m. Okay. Alright, and I think that's all. Nothing else you can do already. The square root 3m and negative square root 7m tak boleh buat tau. Unless it's times divide lah. Yeah, because the law of cert got say square root a times square root b is square root ab, right? And then square root a divided square root b is square root a over b. But if it's plus minus like that, memang tak boleh one. Okay, so square root 3m minus square root 7m cannot simplify. Okay, so yeah, this is good enough. I'll just stop here. Okay, all right, let's go for B. Okay, the B says, given that m equals to a power x, show that log base a m power n equals to n log base a m, such that n is any real number. Okay, so this is basically nothing, not important. The only thing we have to focus is this one, and we want to show this formula lah. Okay, so how do you prove this formula or show this formula? Okay, this formula is called the power rule. It's called the power rule, and this is one of the formula that we learn under log chapter. Okay, yeah, we learned this, right? When the log number has power, you can bring the power in front like this, and when you bring it in front, it becomes darab, it becomes times. Okay, but this question is not asking you to use the formula, it's asking you to show the formula, to prove the formula, to derive. Okay, so how do you derive this? All right, first step, they already give you this. That means you know already, you have to start from this. So I'm gonna write this like this, m equals a power x, and what I'm gonna do is I will change this to logarithmic form. I'll change this to log form, because now it's in indices form. Yeah, in index form. Index form means dia tak ada log lah, dia just power saja. So to change to log form, you can very easily just pindah the base to the other side jadi log base. So it becomes log base am equals to x. And ada sebab kenapa saya buat macam ni, because later you have to use this to sub inside later. Okay, later you'll know. Later you'll know. Okay, now I will start from here. So I will write this down, m equals a power x. And what I will do is I will work towards this. Yeah, I will work towards getting this. Okay, so how do you work towards this? First is power n. Yeah, first is you need to power n because the m got power n here. So what you do is you basically just take both side power n. So this will become m power n, and of course this one also the a power x has to power n. Okay, both side also power m. Baru boleh yeah, because balance lah. If this side also power n, this also power n. Okay. So now it becomes m power n, and then this side becomes a power. Okay, x and n, when the power side by side, you have to times. So x times n will be xn. But I will write it a bit different. I will write nx instead. Okay, later you'll know why. Later you'll know why. It's the same lah. You dapat nx. Okay, now what I will do, I told you I want to work towards getting this, right? So you can see that this one, they have log base a. Okay, it's log base a m power n. Now my one is m power n. So what I have to do, I have to add log both sides. But of course, you want it to be same base with this, okay? Because this is what you're trying to derive. So you will put log base a on both sides. And the m power n is here, and then the a power nx is here. And guess what? This is already matched with this, right? So the left side is already matched. So I will not do anything. This one, I will just preserve it like this. The only thing I have to do is try to change this so that the right side get this, okay? Okay, so what will you get when you do this? Okay, log AA I know is 1, right? But the power you have to move in front first, okay? So it will become nx, and then log AA is just 1. So it's just nx times 1, which is just nx lah. And don't forget, x is the log base am. So you can sub, so log am power n equals to n, and then the x you sub with this log am like that. And you are done, okay? This is the power rule, okay? So you can write the word shown to show that it means you already berjaya lah. Okay, you should have proved the power rules. Alright, this is how I would do it. Now let's do C. Okay, diagram 10 shows a right angle triangle. So when I see a right angle triangle, I always think about the Pythagoras theorem or the Sokato, the trigonometry, right? The trigo. Okay, so find the value of k. Alright, the only way to relate these three things is to use the Pythagoras theorem, because this three is the panjang, right? This is the side, this is the side, this is the side. So the only way to find k is to relate all these three things together, and you can relate them nicely using the Pythagoras theorem, because the Pythagoras theorem formula involves the three sides. And if you use the Pythagoras theorem, you can tie these three things together in one equation. Okay. Okay, the formula for Pythagoras theorem is a square plus b square equals c square, where c is the hypotenuse, the longer side. So the a square can be 1, the b square can be 2 power k over 2 minus 1, but don't forget to bracket square it, and then equals to c square, and the c must be the longer side hypotenuse, which is 3 times 2 power k power 2 minus 1, bracket everything square like that. So as you can see, I tie up these three things together using the Pythagoras theorem. Now let's work towards finding k. So let's square everything first. 1 square is just 1. Okay, when you take this one power, this power 2, it means you have to take the power, both the power times. Okay, and you can see this power is 1 term only, this power is 2 terms, so you have to darab macam ni. So it becomes 2 power. Okay, 2 times k over 2 is just k, 2 times -1 is -2. On the other side, 3 have to square, so it becomes 9, and the 2 power k power 2 minus 1 also have to square, and you will get the same result as this 2 power k minus 2, because the 2 you darab masuk macam ni. Okay, alright, after you reach here, how to get k now? Okay, I see something here. I see this one and this one is same, right? So what I'm gonna do, I will change this to a. Yeah, I will let a equals 2 power k minus 2. It means I will temporarily change this to a, because it's a plus minus question, and this one is same. So if I temporarily change to a, it will become 1 plus a equals to 9 times a, and you can find a already. But of course, a is not your answer lah. You still have to change back to this later. Okay, yeah, so this is what I will do. All right, so what I will do, what I will get here, 9a minus a, 8a equals to 1, so your a is 1 over 8. And don't forget, a is actually the 2 power k minus 2, so 2 power k minus 2 equals to 1 over 8. And now I can change the 1 over 8 to base 2 also, because 8 is 2 power 3. But if it's 1 over 8, then it will be 2 power -3. So now k minus 2 equals to -3, because same base on both sides. So the power should be automatically be same also lah. So your k equals -3 plus 2 is -1. So that's the answer. Okay, another way to do it is you can also do it like that. Pindah the plus 2 power k, pindah sini jadi minus. And then after you pindah, you factor. Yeah, you factor out the 2 power k minus 2, and then you left with 9 minus 1 like that, which is 8. So it becomes 8 times this equals to 1. And then pindah the 8 to the other side becomes 1 over 8. Same also lah. You get this also, right? Yeah, so that's another way to do it lah. Okay. Yeah, so up to you which one you want to do. You will get the same answer. Eh? Okay, wait, what's this? I forgot. Oh, there's nothing here. Okay, so it's like that. All right, so this is how I will do it. Hope you get it. I'll continue. Okay, let's do number 14. All right, 14a, I will do it up here. So this is definitely quadratic. So from 4 chapter 2. Okay, given a quadratic function y equals ax squared minus bx plus c. So this is a general form, but they never give us any a value here. But it's okay. Does not touch the x-axis. All right, whenever I see this word, I will always think about b squared minus 4ac smaller than 0. Because does not touch means what? It means the quadratic, let's say it's like that, it will not touch the x-axis. But it can also be like that, right? It can also be the other shape, right? If your A is positive, then it will be like this. If your A negative, it will be like this. But they never give us the A, so there's no way for us to know which one. So it's either like that or like that lah. And as you can see, they never touch they both never touch the x-axis. That means no roots. So when no roots means the b square minus 4ac has to be negative. Okay, now they say C is C is negative. That means confirm already lah. Confirm is not like that. Because if your C is negative, that means the y-intercept is negative. Now, imagine if it's like that. Your C should be above, it should be positive if it's like that, right? So definitely, it has to be like that. So now we can jawab soalan state the range of A. Okay, the range of A is definitely lesser than 0 because we already know the shape has to be like that. Okay, and then second question, state the range of function discriminant. Discriminant means the b square minus 4ac lah. So the b square minus 4ac, the range must be lesser than 0. Yeah, it must be negative. Okay. Yeah, so that's how to do it. All right, that's all. Okay, let's do B. Diagram 11 shows a parabolic gate. So yeah, it's a quadratic curve. Parabola means the quadratic curve shape. Okay, the gate needs to be wide enough for 2 vehicles to pass through. Okay, 2 vehicles. Diagram 12 shows the largest vehicle that will use the route. Okay, so we have a vehicle here. So that's the 12.2, but I don't think this is important. Yeah, because this is the length of the vehicle, right? So do we really care about that? No, we only care about the width. So the 4.3, 3.1 would be important lah. Okay. All right. So I think I have to fit 2 vehicle like that. Okay. But you have to know something. This vehicle is in the shape of a rectangle. Do you agree? When the lorry goes in or the vehicle goes in, it will be in a shape of rectangle, right? Not in a curve shape. Not in a curve shape, right? Yeah, it will be a rectangle shape. So later we have to form a rectangle inside lah. If you want to know whether it can fit or not. Okay, but it's okay. Let's see what the question says down here. Shaba's company reserved to build the gate as high as 6 meters. So I should label this. So the height of the thing is 6 meters. So it's more than enough fit this because the height is only 4.3 for the vehicle. Yeah. So confirm is the tunnel is high enough for the vehicle. And the width is 10 meters. Okay, the width is 10 meters, right? Okay, you can see the width of the one vehicle is 2.1. And if for 2 vehicle, it will be 2.1 times 2, which is 4.2. But we never know, but we don't know whether it's enough or not because I told you, right, the shape is in a curve. This shape is in a rectangle. So, yeah, it's hard to say whether enough or not. But let's see what they say. Number 1, represent the gate shape design reserved by Shaba's company in the form of fx equals a bracket x plus b square plus q. Okay, this is called the vertex form. And if you want to form using the vertex form, of course, if you have the general form, you can change to do completing the square and change to this lah. But it doesn't seem like they got give us any equation here. So I think I have to form myself. Okay. All right. When doing questions like this, the main concern is always where's the 0, 0? Yeah, where's the x-axis, where's the y-axis, and where should I put the origin, right? That's always the main concern. Okay. So I think the x-axis, I think I should put it here lah. Okay, I think I'll put it here. But for the y-axis, it could be here, right? It could be in the middle, but it could also be on the left like that. But it could also be on the right like that. So it's like we don't actually know where is it. Because if the y-axis, let's say, is here. Let's say the y-axis is located here. the answer will be different. If I locate the y-axis here, it will be different. If it's like this, it will be different. If it's like this, it will be different. Yeah, that's why we need to know where to put the y-axis, and they should actually tell us in the question. But this question never tell us lah. But I feel like it will not be here, because if it's here, then your axis of symmetry will be the y-axis, and your p will be 0 already. Yeah, it will just be like ax square and then throws plus c like that. If you write in general form lah, okay. And if you write in vertex form also, it will be like that, because your p will be 0. So it's like x plus 0 will be 0. Yeah, because the p value is the axis of symmetry, right? So if it's middle, then it will be 0 already. So I don't think it will be like this. And I also don't think it will be like this. Because if like this, then it's a bit weird lah, because your here will be negative already. And since all this is the meter, so the panjang in meter should always be positive. So I'm just gonna put it here. Okay, I'm just gonna put the y-axis here. Okay. It means I jadikan my 0, 0 exactly this point. So now we can know that this one should be 6 and then this one should be 10. Okay. And we have our turning point here. Okay, the x coordinate will be the 0 plus 10 divided by 2, which is right in the middle here, 5. So the turning point is 5, 6. So actually now you can put inside the equation. So it becomes fx. All right. When we write the turning point, this will give us the x coordinate, this will give us the y coordinate. But when we take out the x coordinate from here, we have to tukar tanda. So when we tukar tanda, it becomes 5, right? That means the p must be negative 5, like that. And then plus q, that one will be the y coordinate, plus 6, like that. But still, we have to find the a. Okay, the a, how we can find it is we can sub the x and y coordinate inside. But you have to use a point that passes through the curve. So you can use 5, 6. But I don't recommend using 5, 6, because if you use 5, 5 minus 5 is 0, 0 square is 0, and then 0 times a is 0, then the a disappear already. Then you can't find the a. So let's use some other points. So I think 0, 0 you can use. 0, 0 you can use. So when x equals 0, y equals 0, so it becomes 0 equals to a bracket 0 minus 5 square plus 6. So to find a, it will be, okay, negative 5 square is 25, 25a plus 6. So your a is negative 6 over 25. And after getting the a, you should masuk balik dalam equation and write the whole thing. Fx equals negative 6 over 25, x minus 5 square plus 6. So the soalan asks us to write in the form of vertex form. So this is the vertex form. Okay, let's do number 2. Can the gate design allow two vehicles shown in diagram 12 to pass through simultaneously? Justify your answer. All right. Since the vehicle is in a rectangle shape and this one is in the parabola shape, so what I have to do is I have to basically draw a rectangle inside the tunnel. Okay, yeah, because they are both not same shape. Because it's possible that the vehicle is like that. You faham because if it's like that, means cannot fit already. Even though the width is good, the height is good, but you can see, yeah, cannot fit, right? Because they are different shape. So I think what I have to do is I have to take the thingy 4.3, and what I will do is I have to draw a horizontal line, because the height of vehicle is 4.3, right? The height confirm can fit one, just the width only. So what we have to do is we have to tarik satu line macam ni, and this vehicle number 1, this vehicle number 2 lah. And then we have to find out this and this, and then find out the panjang from here to here. Okay, if the panjang here is less than 10, then can fit lah. Okay. All right, so what I have to do now, find out the uh yeah, we have to find out the width from here to here. Okay, this point the y coordinate is 4.3. This point also the y coordinate is 4.3. So I will sub 4.3 inside here to find the 2x value. And then I will know what's the value here. Then I can find out the width of the from here to here. Then I can know whether it can fit or not lah. Okay, so I will ganti when y equals 4.3, sub inside this equation, so it becomes 4.3 equals negative 6 over 25 bracket x minus 5 square plus 6. And I will try to find x and confirm you'll get two answers, right? Okay, pindah 6 dulu. 4.3 minus 6 is negative 1.7, and then this is negative 6 over 25 x minus 5 square. Alright, and then next thing is pindah the negative 6 over 25, so left with x minus 5 square. Okay, negative divide negative is positive, and then 1.7 times 25 over 6, that will give me 85 over 12. And then now square root. Okay, when you square root, there should be two answers. x minus 5 equals to plus minus square root 85 over 12. So your x minus 5 first answer is 2.661. Let's write in four even figure lah. And then the other one is negative 2.661. And then both answer have to plus 5 plus 5. So this one is 7.661. And let's write the unit meters. And then the x here is 2.339 meters. So now we know that both this number, I know already this one is 2.3. Okay, let me make it smaller. Okay, this one is 2.339. And then for the other one is 7.661. So I can actually find out the width here. So I'll just write here width of tunnel. The width of tunnel. So we will take 7.661 minus 2.339 to get the width. All right, so what do we get? 5.322 meters. So now we can check whether it's enough for the two vehicles lah. All right, the height confirm is enough already. 4.3 confirm is enough already. But the width will be 2.1 meter times 2. So the width of two vehicles will be 2.1 meter times 2, which is 4.2 meter. So can fit lah. Yeah, can fit because the width of tunnel is bigger. Okay. Okay, the soalan got asked me, can the gate allow two vehicles to pass through? Justify your answer. So we have to write a sentence to response. Okay, as a response to the question. So we have to write since 5.322, which is the width of tunnel, is wider than the vehicle. Therefore, the two vehicles, and then you can just follow how they write it here. The two vehicles can pass through simultaneously. Okay, can pass through the tunnel simultaneously. Okay, yeah, so that answers the question. All right, that's it. Okay, now we are at the last question already, so let's finish it. Okay, 15. An airplane flies from point P to point Q. Okay, the diagram is, it shows in the diagram. Where Q is 900 meter due east of P. Okay, so this is north, this one is south, this one is east, this one is west. So if due east means it's going to this direction. And as you can see, the arrow also they put here already. So it's due east to P lah. Okay, that means this line has to be completely horizontal lah. It means the aeroplane it flies in a horizontal line. It never go up or go down. You just fly horizontal line. Okay, the velocity of airplane in still air is v equals 700I minus 100J. Okay, I think this will be important. So I should write down 700I minus 100J. Okay, when I see IJ, I know already it's definitely a coordinate vector question. Okay, okay, so this is the velocity, or can say the speed of the aeroplane in still air. Still air means if there's no air lah, no air. This is the speed, 700I minus 100J. There is a wind blowing with a constant velocity of u equals to AI plus BJ. So this is also the velocity, but velocity for wind. Just this one is velocity for aeroplane. Okay. All right. So A says given that the aeroplane flies directly from P to Q, find the value of B. Okay. Let me tell you what's the keyword here. The keyword here is due east. Yeah, that's the most important keyword here. So if they say due east, what you have to do? That means this aeroplane will fly in a horizontal line. That means your J should be 0. Because we all know when we write coordinate vector, I is for the pergerakan yang kiri kanan, J is for the pergerakan yang atas bawah. So for the J, it should be 0 after you plus this lah. So that means when you do negative 100 plus B, it should be 0. Okay, because this one is the velocity of aeroplane, this one is the velocity for the wind. So when you combine them, when you plus these two things, the J should be 0. Okay, I think I'll just do the full working lah. So I will to find the speed of the aeroplane, we have to take V plus U. So it'll be 700I plus AI, but I will write it like this. I'll write it bracket 700 plus AI like that. And then negative 100J plus BJ, I'll just factorize out the J like that. And then this must be 0. Negative 100 plus B must be 0. Because if the aeroplane is flying due east in a horizontal line, there will be no vertical movement. So the coefficient of J must be 0. So your B will be 100. Now we can do B. If the journey takes 1.25 hours, show that A equals 20. Okay, the 1.25 hours is the time. So I'll just use small t to write it 1.25 hours. So how do you show that A equals 20? Okay, A is this one, right? Okay, I think you have to use the speed formula. Yeah, you have to use the speed formula because you have the distance, you have the time, and you have the velocity. So yeah, you have to use this speed formula. The speed formula is speed equals distance over time, or you can say velocity equals distance over time. But you have your time, you have your distance, but the problem is your speed you don't have. You only have the vector, right? So this one is the full speed, right? But it's in vector form. So you have to find the magnitude of this lah. Yeah, because when you find the magnitude, you will get the speed. So I'll just write here magnitude of u plus v, or v plus u, same thing. And the formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square, because that's how you find magnitude. And 700 plus a, you write it here. Okay, the negative 100 plus b is 100. You find it already. So negative 100 plus 100 will be 0. So this will be 0 square. So that means we will ignore that. Yang ni terus tak payah tengok. So you just left with square root 700 plus a square, which is 700 plus a. Because when you have square root bracket square, the square and the square can cut. So you just left with whatever inside the bracket. So it's just 700 plus a lah. So that is the speed in kilometer per hour. Okay. So now you can use the speed formula. 700 plus a, which is the speed in kilometer per hour, equals to distance over time. Distance have to be in kilometer, so 900 km. And then the hour is 1.25 hours. And now you can work towards finding a already. Just pin out the 900 there, then you get your answer lah. Okay, let's press 900 divide 1.25 first. And then I will minus with 300. 700 lah, this one. Silap. Here is 700. Correct, right? 700. Okay, so the answer is 20. Okay, so you are done with that. So they ask us to show that A is 20, shown lah. This is the answer. Okay. Alright, let's do the last part. Or belum lagi ada CD. Okay, let's do C. The aeroplane returns from Q to P. Alright, so if you're returning, then the direction will be like this already lah. Then that means the speed of the aeroplane will be, have to tukar tanda already lah. Yeah. Okay, but let's see what they want first. With the velocity in still air is V equals negative 100, negative 700I minus 100J. Yeah, because when you go just now, it's 700I minus 100J, right? But now it's going back, so okay, it's different already lah. Negative 700I minus 100J. Calculate the time taken for the return journey. Okay, assuming the wind velocity remains unchanged. Okay, if the wind velocity remains unchanged, what will be the new speed? It will be the new V plus with the wind lah, the wind velocity, which is u, like that. So let's do it this first. So this V plus this u. All right, so it'll be negative 700 plus A, which is negative 700 plus 20. And that's the I. And then plus with siapa J. Okay, negative 100J plus with B. But the B is 100. So negative 100 plus 100 is 0 also lah. It means for the return trip also, the aeroplane never have any vertical movement. It's just a straight line going back. Okay. All right, so you get negative 50I, I mean negative 680I here. And the 0J hilang gone already. Okay, but we're not done yet. They asked to find the time taken. So to find the time, okay, this one is the speed. Okay, this one is the speed. And the distance will be 900. So you have to use the formula again. Speed equals distance over time. But you need to have the distance and speed if you want to find the time, right? Okay, the distance confirmed is 900 km. But the speed, you have to find the magnitude of this. Yeah. So I will just write magnitude of V plus U equals to square root bracket square plus bracket square. And then inside the bracket, you have to masuk the number before ij, which is negative 680. And okay, for the j is 0, right? So 0, actually no need to write lah, because 0 square is 0 also. So I'll just erase it. Okay, the square and square can. Okay, negative 680 square, you will get like quite big number actually. But you will be positive something. But you square root back, you'll get back 680. Yeah, so it will just be 680 kilometer per hour. That the speed. Okay. So with the speed, now we can masuk dalam formula ni, 680 equals to distance over time. The distance for return is still 900 km. And for the time they want to find, right? Time taken for the return. So you can find the T lah. Yang T ni hantar atas jadi darab, and then 680 hantar bawah jadi bahagi. So now I press 900 divide 680, and I will get 1.324. Okay, this one I'll write in 4 significant figures. So 1.324, and don't forget the unit is in hours. Okay. All right, let's do D. What is the actual speed of the airplane when there is no wind? No wind. It would be this one, right? But this one is for the return journey. Okay, for the first velocity without the wind is this one, right? 700I minus 100J. So let's write that down. V equals 700I minus 100J. This one is going from P to Q. But for going from Q to P, it's this one, right? So which one I should find the magnitude for this? I should find magnitude for this or this? Actually, it doesn't matter. You'll get the same answer because you realize or not, when you find magnitude, you will take square root bracket square plus bracket square, and then here you masuk number before ij, which is 700 and negative 100, right? Now imagine if you masuk use this for the, you get the same also, because you will write negative 700 here and then negative 100 here, and you know when you negative square, you get back the same number. Yeah, because negative 700 square and 700 square is the same thing. Yeah, so the negative doesn't even affect the answer because when you square already, the negative hilang already. Yeah, so you can take any one lah, eh? So the actual speed of the aeroplane when there is no wind, you tekan this, you will get the answer. All right, 707.11, and since it's a speed, let's write the unit km per hour. Okay. All right, I think I'm done with this question. How many marks? 3 plus 2, 5, 7, 8 marks for this. Okay, this is the last question, right? Yeah. So kertas peperiksaan tamat. Okay, I'll see you next video. Next video I will do the Negeri Sembilan paper 2 lah. And if you all want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. And if you all interested to gain early access to my future videos, you can join my channel membership. All the link is in the description. Right? Okay, that's all for this video. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.